Well, we'll take a step back and we'll look at REST web sources as they have been around since the very introduction of ORDs. And we'll go back to the architecture using REST web sources from any HTTP client. And this is the basic architecture using REST web sources. As I've said, they've been around since the introduction of ORDs. And what we do here, we send a REST request, which is an HTTP or HTTPS call. In this example, we're using a GET. We send this request to an endpoint, which is, in our case, an ORD, and the response, in this case, the response is a JSON response. You will note, and this is the important difference to REST-enabled SQL, that the actual SQL or the PL SQL is stored in the database. It's actually stored in the ORDS metadata schema. So this is important to understand that for every web source, it needs its own endpoint with, as in this example, passing a parameter that's used as a bind variable in the metadata. I'm going to demonstrate this using a REST client. The REST client I'm using is the Google Advanced REST client, but there are many clients that you can use. You can use a command line client such as curl. There are many clients that you can use. I am using the Google Advanced REST client. I will demonstrate using a REST source. I'm sending a HTTP request with the GET method to an endpoint. I send the request and I receive the JSON response. This is using REST web sources. And as I've said, these have been around since the introduction of ORDS. We'll recap on that. REST web sources, original ORDS functionality. The developer has to create an endpoint for every query or a PL SQL program, and they can be consumed by any client, command line, a GUI client, or Apex PL SQL JavaScript. The underlying PL SQL and PL SQL is static, stored in the database ORDS metadata schema.